All right.
All right, and we are going live in a bit. Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome to our 4th online pitch event on diagnostics, infectious disease management, and life science tools. I'm Sakina, the Program Director for MedTech Innovator Asia Pacific, and we have today with us our team. So we have Jerry, our flight control. Jerry, would you like to say a few words?
Hi everyone, how's it going? My name is Jerry. I'm with the MedTech US team. I am here today to help do all the flight control and get you guys into your room. So if you have any issues today, come back into the main session and I can help you get situated.
Great, thanks Jerry. And we also have Clarissa. Is Clarissa around?
Hi everyone, Clarissa here. So I'll be helping anyone with their Kobo links, and also would be in the networking room, so you can find me there.
Thanks, Clarissa. So just to recap, if you guys have any questions throughout the event, for Kobo links, for Judge links, or any YouTube live links, you can go to Clarissa for that. And if you found yourself in the wrong room, so Jerry's there as the flight control, which is basically the person who manages the breakout sessions, and you can ask the questions to him. If you have some other question that doesn't cover all these areas, feel free to DM me. So now I'll pass it over to Paul, our CEO, who will then hand it over to Frederick to host the session. Paul, over to you.
Thank you, Sakina. Hi, everyone. I'm Paul Grand. I'm the CEO here at MedTech Innovator. Welcome to our online pitch event here in Asia Pacific, focused on diagnostics, infectious disease management, and life science tools. MedTech Innovator is a global program, so we have team members in the US, team members in Asia Pacific. We are focused on finding the best companies in the entire world in terms of startups and healthcare, and making sure that those companies succeed in reaching the market. And we do that by partnering with the leading strategics in the industry and others to mentor those companies and give them the resources they need to be successful. I started this company back in 2013, specifically because as a venture capitalist, I saw the problems that a lot of the companies out there had in the ecosystem all over the world, where they were a bit disconnected and not necessarily getting the kinds of support they needed from their local ecosystem. So we designed this to fill that gap. I want to welcome some of our judges who have joined us today for the first time. So we have judges who are participating in all of our pitch events and some that come in for a specific event. So if this is your first time, you're going to be in for a treat. It's a lot of fun, a lot of great companies to meet, and a lot of other great judges to interact with. So I think you're really going to enjoy it. The other thing I'll mention is that this pitch event is one of several on our road tour. We have a number coming up. The next pitch event after this is focused on the digital health side. We'll be looking at technologies, things like SaaS models, mHealth, telemedicine, wellness, and some other things. So that'll be a lot of fun. If you're judging for the first time, we invite you to potentially judge with us next time, and you're welcome to reach out to one of our team members in the chat. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Frederick Nyberg, who's our Managing Director, Asia Pacific. And Frederick will tell you a little bit about what MedTech Innovator is all about, and he'll take you through the plan for this day's event. So I'll be here throughout the whole day. I'll be interacting with you guys in the breakouts and in between sessions, but Frederick, take it from here.
Thank you very much, Paul. A very good morning to all of you, and welcome and good evening to those of you who are dialing in from the US. My name is Frederick Nyberg. I'm based here in Singapore, and that's my excuse for not wearing a jacket. I will be your MC today. Let me share my screen, and I'll talk you through give you a little bit of background on MedTech Innovator, tell you how the program is going to work today, especially for those of you who are new. And we will, in a short while, get to the lightning round of presentations as well from the 10 startups that are presenting here. So MedTech Innovator, as Paul mentioned, is a global non-profit, industry-led accelerator and competition. The event has been, or the program has been around for 9 years. We're now in our 3rd year here in Asia Pacific. Our mission is to improve the lives of patients by bringing transformative healthcare solutions to patients. So what you see here on this slide is the final cohort of 20 companies that pitched and presented at our showcase in 2019, of course, in the pre-pandemic days. And hopefully we'll get back to that within not too long. So let me just, apologies. Just a couple of quick numbers that I think could be relevant here. We have, and I'm very proud of having had now 340 companies that have gone through the program over the years. That's across the US and Asia Pacific. They brought 77 products onto the market. And we have had 14 outright acquisitions. Every year, we have more than 200 reviewers, judges, and mentors that participate in the program. The 340 alumni companies have gone on to raise $2.5 billion in follow-on funding. This slide, very quickly, will just give you a sort of a snapshot of the types of startups that we see join the program. So these are actual numbers from our 2020 program participants in the US as well as Asia Pacific. So as you can see, we had close to 1,300 applicants. This year, I believe that number is going to be in excess of 1,600. So you'll see the applications span across devices, diagnostics, and digital. Preclinical, clinical, we have almost 1/4 of our applicants have revenue and paying customers, and they span across seed stage, Series A, Series B, although we also have a number of companies that are later stage as well. Focusing now on Asia Pacific, what you see here are the names and logos of the companies that have been part of the Asia Pacific program in 2019 and 2020. So as we continue to scale up here in Asia Pacific, you'll see many more companies from around the region. But we do also have applicants occasionally from outside of Asia Pacific. You might ask yourself, why would they apply to the APAC MedTech Innovator Program? Well, it's fairly simple. If they have an interest in launching and entering Asia Pacific markets, or if they're focused on innovations and solutions that address Asian prevalent diseases, then we encourage them to apply through the Asia Pacific program. But startups are welcome to apply through both programs if they so wish. So what do we look at as we review and evaluate these companies and shortlist them for the pitches that you're about to see very shortly? Well, we'll look at companies across 3 dimensions: value, execution, and momentum. So the solutions and the innovations that we pick obviously have to provide a significant value to patients and ideally to the healthcare system. We'll look at the traction that the startups have in terms of execution, strength of the team, not just the founder and the CEO, but the broader team. We sometimes, if they have a scientific advisory board, we'll take a look at that. And of course, momentum. 2020 was a challenging year for most startups, and they didn't perhaps have the momentum that they had hoped, given that a lot of clinical work had to pause because of the COVID-19 situation. But nevertheless, hitting milestones and sticking to the plan is something that we do look at very closely. So this is the flow of how the program works. We had more than 500 applications submitted this year, which is a record for Asia Pacific and more than twice the numbers that we had in 2020. We closed for applicants mid-February. We have now jointly with our corporate partners reviewed all of these applications and are now inviting 60 companies to pitch across 6 separate pitch events. And this, as you know, is the 4th in that series. Out of those 60 companies, we will select 20. Again, we will select those jointly with our corporate partners to join our 2021 accelerator. And that takes place during the months of June, July, and August. Out of the 25 will then be part of our finalists, where 1 will become the grand prize winner and walk away with $150,000 in cash. It's entirely non-dilutive. We don't take equity. We don't charge companies for registering and participating in the program. And there'll be an equivalent amount of in-kind awards from many of our corporate partners. So these are some of the key dates. We are now about midway through the pitch events, 1 to 6. As Paul mentioned, we have digital health coming up on the 21st of April. We have next-gen surgical as our final online pitch event coming up on the 11th of May. Accelerator selection then will take place end of May with our partners, and the accelerator then begins mid-June. All of this culminates in the grand finals and the showcase at the APAC MedTech Forum, which takes place in September, and we'll come to that in a little bit more detail in just a minute. So those of you who were part of this back in 2019, pre-pandemic, will recall that we did pitch events by geography. We had one in Tokyo, we had one in Shanghai, one in Sydney, one in Singapore. With the pandemic, we've decided to make these pitch events theme-based, so we can now have startups dial in from anywhere and present, as you'll see in a moment. We are now on 7th of April, we are now focused on the diagnostics, infectious disease management, and life science tools section. Now, I should mention here that when we allocate startups to pitch or to be considered for these 6 pitch events, in the case of the diagnostics and infectious disease management session today, the definition actually is a little bit broader than what you see here. So you will also see companies that are in, of course, in areas of in vitro molecular diagnostics. They'll be in point of care testing, but we will also cover areas such as sensor technologies, wearables, laboratory medicine, pathology, and the like. So you'll see an interesting broad cross-section of very diverse companies presenting today that hopefully you'll find interesting. Now, as I mentioned, the grand finals will take place at the Asia Pacific MedTech Forum in partnership with APAC Med. The dates, I believe, are the 21st and 22nd of September. This set of photos, of course, were taken well before the pandemic. We hope that we can do some sort of a hybrid event this year. It's not entirely clear how that will work out, but suffice it to say that I think the startups that are shortlisted for this are unlikely to have to travel. We will be able to work with you remotely. Now, we could not do any of this without the support of our corporate partners. So we are extremely grateful for the support and not just financial, but the engagement that we're getting from all of our sponsors. You will meet them all today. Our sponsors play an active role in reviewing all the applications as they come in providing feedback as judges during these pitch events. They also provide mentorship and, of course, contribute to the range of awards that you will see later in the year. So Johnson & Johnson, Nipro, Olympus, Align Technology, Oliver Healthcare Packaging, Siemens Healthineers, Enterprise Singapore, and Cambridge Consultants. Very grateful for your partnerships. And to the startups that are here, you will meet all of these corporates during the presentations and the pitch events. So do take the opportunity to engage with them. You will have access to the bio book, and if you don't have the link, maybe I'll ask Clarissa or Sakina just to put that in the chat. From that bio book, you will see the details of the individuals from these companies and from our other judges that will be here, and that includes their contact details. Now, we have an exceptional panel of judges today. I believe we have 30 judges in all. And I'm not going to go through all of them. I just want to say a very warm welcome to all of you. As you'll see here, we have all of our corporate partners well represented. We have a number of service providers. We have institutional investors, not only from Asia Pacific, but we're very proud to have good representation from our US program as well, service providers, as well as investors from the US who are staying up late to be part of the program today. So thank you to all of you. Again, for our startups, you will see in the bio book the contact details of all of the judges, including short bios from them. Now, enough talking for me. This is where we move on to the lightning round. So I will call on the 10 startups to give a 1-minute pitch. And this is really to let our judges see all of the startups. And for those of you who are viewing us live on YouTube, for you to get a feel of who these companies are and what they do. I will do this in alphabetical order. Our judges will typically only see 4 companies out of the 10, and they've given us their preferences, so hopefully they will see the companies that they have selected in their top tier or second tier. But this gives everyone an opportunity to see all 10. So what I will do is I will show one slide. I will invite a representative from each company to speak. You will see a counter counting down that 1 minute, and that counter will be in the upper or lower left-hand corner of your screen. So as we are doing this just bear with me for a second.
While Frederick's
I'll just stop sharing and do that again. My apologies.
No problem. I was going to say while you're doing that, Frederick, I'll also just mention for everyone who's watching on YouTube. So if you're joining us for the first time, the way this works is we have this short session here where you're going to get a chance to see the companies give a very short pitch, and then all of our judges are going to go into breakout rooms. So we have evaluators and experts here who are going to give feedback and ask questions to the companies. And while we're doing that, you're unfortunately not going to be able to join us. So this preview for you on YouTube is to have a little bit of a little window into how this works. But after that's over, we're going to be going off into breakout rooms. And so unfortunately, you won't be able to join us on YouTube for that. But thank you for joining us nonetheless. So Frederick.
Okay. Let me just see if I can get my screen back here. Just give me a second. So for some reason that is not working.
That's all right. Well, we can do, we can have someone else in the team share their screen.
If someone could just share the 1 minute videos or the 1 minute, sorry, the 1 minute slides, that would be great.
Hold on for a second. Let me see if I have that handy. Stand by. I think I do.
I can do it from my side.
You can? That would be great, Clarissa, if you could.
Give me a moment.
Actually, I think I've got it. Let me go ahead. I'll go ahead.
Our apologies. We will begin. Are you able to share the screen there, Paul?
Yep, I'm going to share it right now.
Okay.
Let's go full screen on mine. And share that. Moment. Sorry, one more second. It's the first time we've had this happen. Okay. Do it again. Get back here. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. What we're going to do again is we're going to have each company present their 1 minute pitch. These are the companies they're going to be presenting. You can see them here.
Very good.
Companies are from India, Hong Kong, Singapore, Australia, South Korea, Taiwan, and Australia. I said Australia twice. It's that important. All right, so we're excited to hear these pitches.
Yep, I can introduce each of them because I have the names of the individuals I believe will be presenting here. So we start with Adivo Diagnostics. Dr. Bala Pusala, if you're there.
Hi, good morning. Hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Thank you. We are from Adivo Diagnostics. Adivo Diagnostics is a deep tech innovation company, which was started with the goal of rapid and affordable point-care diagnostics for all, not just for a privileged group. Our flagship product is targeting diabetic foot ulcer market, which causes amputation, an amputation in every 30 seconds in the world. So this is a proprietary and patent technology. It's a world-first AI-enabled rapid pathogen detection device, which can aid doctors in the right antibiotic prescription and other decisions. As you can see, it's real time and it can detect pathogens, whether it's gram-positive, negative, or various pathogens. It's 100x time reduction compared to a standard culture test, so that the doctors can make instant real-time decisions. The platform has various applications, including cosmetology, rapid cancer detection, etc. We're very excited to be here today.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that. Looking forward to hearing more about that. So next we have Dr. Andrew Kinghorn from Alfina Bio in Hong Kong.
Thank you, Frederick. I'm Andrew Kinghorn from Alfina Bio. Today, the world population is 7.8 billion. Half the global population is at risk of malaria. The entire population is at risk from COVID. Now, we're all familiar with the illness, the death, and global disruption caused by the pandemic. The economic cost alone has been $16 trillion. It is no surprise that over $80 billion is spent on COVID diagnostics. From the pandemic, two critical factors for disease control are apparent. One is rapid diagnosis of disease. Two is digital integration for epidemiology. Now, existing tests take from 15 minutes to 24 hours and have a limited point of care digital integration. Our Aptima electrochemical diagnostic approach gives results in just 3 minutes. Our technology is easily integrated into digital platforms to monitor disease on a global scale. At Alfina Bio, we are developing digital rapid diagnostic solutions to combat global disease. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you for that, Andrew. Next, we have Biorhythm. Welcome, Amrish. Over to you. Do we have Amrish here?
Yep. Hi.
All right.
So Biorhythm presents FEMA, the comprehensive remote monitoring platform for pregnancy care. And this is what pregnancy care is going to look like, especially in a post-COVID world, where we get data collected outside of the hospital's four walls and outside of the bedside of the clinician and midwife. And we're introducing the concept of a virtual visit, where clinicians can seamlessly collect symptom data, point of care information like blood pressure and glucose, and most fundamentally, fetal and maternal health using fetal heart rate and maternal heart rate, which allows us to longitudinally track both the mother and the baby to be able to better time delivery. And this addresses independence and agency for women when making choices in healthcare, value-based healthcare through our subscription model, and better decision-making through high-quality data collection outside of the hospital. We hope to make pregnancy care better for everyone. Thank you.
Great. Thanks very much, Amrish. Next, we have Brainside AI. Lina Emmanuel.
Hi.
Good morning.
Thank you, Frederick. Good morning. Hi, I'm Lina Emanuel, founder CEO at Brainside AI, where we are pioneering new tools to understand the human brain. Our AI-enabled voxel box platform essentially provides unique insights into brain function, activity, and connectivity, which can help three sets of doctors, psychiatrists, neurologists, and neurosurgeons. The idea is you can answer questions like early connectivity patterns in dementia. We have algorithms which have been developed for diagnostics of schizophrenia using MRI. And we've already deployed this on the GE Edison platform and are working with Fortune 500 company Dassault Systems to develop 3D visualization for it. I'm very glad to be here and looking forward to the pitches. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Lina. Next, we have CancerFree Biotech from Taiwan. Po Chen, over to you.
Hello. Every year, more than 10 million people die because of cancer. Clearly, this is one of the most challenging problems we face in our time. Even with the best technology in precision medicine, only 27% of patients are able to identify the treatment through their DNA. So clearly, it's not because we don't have good enough drug, but rather we need a better tool to connect the dots. To solve this problem, our team comes from different solutions. Instead of big data, we focus on small data. Instead of other people's statistics, we focus on every patient their own cancer cell. By taking the patient's blood sample through our proprietary and patent system, we can grow a lot of patient-derived organoid cancer cells in the lab. Then we can test all the different treatment options in the lab without harming the patient themselves. So today, we are already helping more than 750 patients around the world across 100 different subtypes of cancers. Our goal is to build the best personalized medicine platform in the world. My name is Paul, CEO of CancerFree Biotech. Thank you for your attention.
Great, thanks very much. Looking forward to hearing more about that. Next up from Korea, we have MediWhale. I believe it's Kevin Choi presenting.
Yes,
Welcome.
I'm here. I'm Kevin Choi, and I would like to introduce our vision. So imagine a world of sustainable healthcare where every eyes can truly be the window of one's health. MediWhale is the first ophthalmic diagnostics company to successfully commercialize retinal cardiovascular risk engine that is clinically proven to be as effective as CAC score calculated from cardiac CT scan. With a global aging population, timely detection of diseases will be a strategic keystone between prevention and intervention. Our solution allows primary healthcare, including optometrists, simple one-touch analysis in less than 3 minutes. Our kidney and frailty engines will be commercialized next year, taking us one step closer to a total retinal screening solution. Now, imagine a world where individuals can achieve awareness, accessibility, and affordability through retinal screening in all communities. Why imagine? We are already here. We are MediWhale. See you in our breakout room. Thank you.
Great, thanks very much, Kevin. Next up, we have MyLab Discovery Solutions from India. Presenting is Hasmukh Rawal. Hasmukh, welcome.
Hi, we are from MyLab. We are India's first solution provider for COVID and have been leading in our efforts since then. Our focus is to bring affordable diagnostic for all. And when we think about bringing high-end diagnostic as affordable to all, it is not going to be possible without having the right automation and right systems in place. From the day of our inception, we have been working on machines or models where we'll be able to bring these kind of solutions where even a semi-skilled or just an entry-level technician will be able to run and operate a high-end test. And the first of our efforts on this is our Innovation Compact XL, where you will not need laborious space, people, expertise at place to run these high-end operations. And with COVID, we have been proving how good this kind of solutions will work. And we want to bring these kind of innovations and many more to the masses over the globe. And we need support from you all to take it forward. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Looking forward to learning more about that. Thank you, Hasmukh. Next, we have Alex Newton presenting for Navi Medical Technologies, Australia.
Hi, thanks. Central venous catheters are a vital tool for delivering therapies and nutrients to patients in intensive care. But despite being one of the most common procedures, accurately placing and monitoring the position of a catheter is hard, particularly for smaller patients like children and newborns. That's why we're building the NeoNav, an ECG tip location system that improves patient safety, improves the clinical workflow, and reduces healthcare costs. Our proprietary software analyzes ECG data to quickly and easily determine the location of a catheter. It's faster than performing an X-ray and easier than using an ultrasound. We've made great progress over the last 12 months, including commencing human clinical studies at the Royal Women's Neonatal ICU. We're working with world-leading children's hospitals from Australia and the US to identify experts and bring this important product to market. We're a dedicated, hardworking team of clinical, engineering, and business experts focused on improving the standard of care for sick kids. And we would love to have your support if you share our vision.
Great, thank you very much, Alex. Next up, we have Omex Research and Diagnostics Laboratories from India. Presenting is Sudeshna Adak.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Today, RT-PCR testing has become a household phrase because of the COVID-19 pandemic. However, the reality is that such testing is available only to 20% of the population. Most of the testing is happening in Tier 1 towns, cities, and metros. Omex's mission is to take molecular diagnostics to the last mile, making available affordable diagnostics, not just for COVID, but for a variety of infections. Our technology is an end-to-end solution that goes from extraction right up to interpretation, amplification, and detection, of course. What we do is to basically ensure that we do not require a $10,000 RT-PCR device, the cold chain shipment, as well as the skilled manpower that is required for RT-PCR laboratories. With that, we are set to transform the world of diagnostics, especially for infections. We look forward to being part of this session.
Great, thanks very much. And our final startup today from Australia is Tali Health, and here to present is Alex Sparky, please.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Alex. I'm from Tali, based in Melbourne, Australia. We at Tali are developers of digital therapeutics for cognitive function, with our first solutions addressing the gap in the market for early childhood assessment and treatment for attention deficit symptoms that affect 136 million children globally. And that includes those diagnosed with ADHD and autism. Our patented gamified solutions leverage over 25 years of clinical research, including gold standard trials showing world-first long-term therapeutic benefit to improve attention. Our other milestones include regulatory clearances in the United States, Australia, and Europe, demonstrated traction in Australia, pilots underway in Singapore, Hong Kong, and the United States, execution of a partnership with the Times Group of India for commercialization in Indian consumer markets, and execution of other international partnerships to assist delivering Tali into new markets and to scale R&D activities. Thanks, guys.
Great, thank you very much for that. Now, I believe that I can share my screen again, but in the maybe in the interest of time, Paul, if you don't mind, you can just flip through the next few slides. That might be easier. What we wanted to do now is give our judges a quick orientation of how this is going to work. Each of our judges, whether you're new here or whether you've done this before, you all should have received a link to the Kobo form where you will be able to complete this. If you haven't, it's in the chat where you can reach out to Sakina and Clarissa for that information. So you will have 5 minutes in between sessions, but you can also complete this, of course, during the sessions itself. So each session, breakout session, will be 20 minutes. The startup is expected to take 5, maybe maximum 7 minutes to pitch, followed by Q&A. And during that time, or during the 5-minute break that then follows, we'd like you to complete this. So you indicate very simply, you just click on the radio button for the company for which you are judging. You indicate whether you were previously aware of this company before, obviously, the hearing about it through MedTech Innovator. And then on the next slide, you would just simply complete your pitch notes, and you don't need to take, you don't need to scribble notes on a piece of paper. You can just put it in here. We will provide this back to you and email it back to you so that you have this information in one place. Very important is the feedback that you are able to provide anonymously to the startup. So we encourage all of our judges to give information and feedback to the startups based on the presentations they've listened to. This doesn't have to be long. It can be a few bullets. If you felt that it was particularly good, please say so and what you liked about it. If there were things missing, things that they could improve, again, I think this would be of great value to the startups, whether you think that maybe the competitive analysis could have been a little bit more thorough or a bit more information about the team. Whatever it may be, please put that in the feedback section here, and we will share that back with each of the startups. Now, finally, we'd like you to rank the technology and the innovation that you see. First, rate it whether you think it is me too, incremental, or transformational. Me too, of course, being something that's already out there in the market, well established. Incremental is something that is marginally better. Transformational is something that really is leaps and bounds ahead of what's currently available. We then like you to just simply rank this opportunity on an overall scale from 1 to 10, where 1 is the weakest, 10 is the strongest in terms of overall likelihood of success. And then across these 5 parameters, we'd like you to rank with 1 being weak, 5 being strong. Look at the value that this innovation potentially could bring to patients, technological feasibility, strength of the team, and then overall health economics, value proposition, business model. How are they going to make money? And have they made that crystal clear in their pitch? And finally, what is your estimate in terms of the likelihood of this company getting funding? And a way of asking yourself that is, would you actually write a check to these teams? Finally, we just ask you to, and again, you can do this very briefly in bullet form, determine, give your thoughts on the risk that you potentially see with the company, whether it may be lacking the right leadership to get it done, difficulties finding investors, go-to-market strategy, competitive strategy, and the like. Look at execution. What is particularly attractive about the company? What are they doing right? It could be a particularly strong CEO, experienced scientific advisory board, great clinical validation, and so on. Final point here is overall stakeholder validation. Have they obtained sufficient input from stakeholders on the claims that they make, and do you agree or disagree with those conclusions? So with that, we are at the very last few questions in the form. We ask our judges to also suggest resources that may be appropriate for the company, either information that you may have or links that you may be able to share to provide them information. We also encourage you to ask the startups what they might want to get out of the MedTech Innovator program, so that we are clear about that going into the judges' deliberations. And we will typically ask if you are interested to have a follow-up call with a company, and we will then be able to put you in touch with those companies after the pitch event. Any additional comments? There's a blank section, an opportunity for you to complete that as well. You can then either click submit and it will go directly to our servers and our database, or you can save the draft and go back and complete it later. If you choose save the draft, do not close your browser because this is saved in your cache. So the easiest is just simply clicking on submit and sending that through to us. So please, if you can get that completed at the end of the 5-minute break that follows each of the sessions, that would be great as we go into the pitch sessions. So with that, we are really at the end of the session here that we're live streaming on YouTube. The next section will be closed to our judges and to our startups. And as I mentioned, there'll be 20-minute sessions where each startup will pitch alone. You will not have any other startups in those breakout rooms, but you will have a group of typically 5 to 8 judges. And we encourage you to stick to the 5 minutes, possibly stretch it to 7 minutes if you absolutely have to. But the judges have already seen they've read a profile of your company. They have chosen to meet with you because they have questions. So please give the judges enough time to ask those questions. At the end of the 20 minutes, throughout the presentation, Jerry, our flight controller, will indicate how many minutes are left. You'll see it flashing on the screen. It will say 10 minutes left, 5 minutes left, and then it will say 1 minute left. And at the end of that time, you will be brought back into the main room. That is automated. So when time is up, time is up. You will get no more time. So just wanted to make that clear to everyone. And then we'll have 5-minute breaks in between. For the startups, you will only be in 2 breakout sessions. We will have 4 rounds. And for the startups who are not presenting, you will be in our break room. The break room is where you will have an opportunity to informally meet with your peers. The other startups that are there. Do take the opportunity to network with them. You'll find, again, in the bio book, you'll find the details and the contact emails and the like for each of the companies that will be there. So 2 sessions each for the startups. The judges, you will be busy from start to finish. You'll be participating in all 4 rounds. No one actually needs to do anything. This is where we have Jerry, who will use his magic and move people around into and out of breakout rooms. So if you have any problems with any of that, if you think that you're in a breakout room where you shouldn't be, just go out into the main room and contact Jerry, and he will help you out. So with that, we will now move on to our main pitch session. This is the point at which we say thank you to all of our YouTube viewers. Really appreciate you taking the time out to join us. Join us again on the 21st of April when we have our digital health event. So thanks to our YouTube viewers. Everyone else, stay on. And